Hey guys, welcome back to a new Devlog episode of Thief Runs. I'm making a multiplayer thief and police game where 5 thieves together have to steal valuable items from houses and escape from the city. On the other hand, 2 police have to catch those thieves and prevent them from leaving the city. In the previous episode, we set up our basic character, added some animations and designed a prototype level. And now as the base animations are done, we can work on the mechanics of the game. So the first mechanic we are going to make is stamina system. Stamina system is a very important mechanics in this game as it will stop the player from sprinting every time and will force them to use it only when it's important. For suppose you are caught in an open area and police is chasing after you. At this situation, you can use all your stamina to run fast as you can and quickly find a place to hide inside the house. So thief and police both will have stamina, restricting them from running always. Also, I'm thinking to give police more stamina than thieves so that police can catch the thieves easily if they are caught in an open area. So if you guys have any suggestion on that, please comment below or join my Discord server where you can give your suggestions and also chat with other peoples about this game. I also stay active there, so the link is in the description. So to make a stamina system, all we do is take a value from 100 to all the way to 0. Once stamina value reaches 0, our player stops sprinting and comes back to running. So yeah, it's that simple. So to represent these stamina values, we are going to use stamina bar. If it's full, that means stamina value is 100. If it's empty, then stamina value is 0. So first, I implemented the similar thing in my game where stamina value keeps on decreasing until the player stops or the stamina value becomes 0. And after that, I made a stamina bar that represents these values. And here you can see it's working quite fine for now. But there are some issues. Like this bar is not smooth and we can see the gaps easily. And second issue is that it's so constant, if you keep on running, the bar will decrease with the same speed. So solving the first issue was easy, just change the number of times stamina value gets updated. Now to solve the second issue, first let me show you how our sprint mechanics work. So when a player starts to sprint, it exerts so much force to push himself forward and gradually come to its normal sprinting speed. That means at the starting of the sprinting, the speed is highest. So stamina bar should drain the stamina fast. So with the reducing speed of the character, stamina bar will also drain slower and will come to its normal training speed. Okay, so somehow I implemented this in the game and it looks great. Also, I made a stamina recovery system where if you stop sprinting, it will immediately start to recover your stamina. If you want to recover your stamina fast, then you can stand still. But if you keep on running, it will recover your stamina a little slower. Okay, so now we are done with the stamina system and we will change this UI later on. But now it's time to make the most fundamental mechanics of this game, that is stealing. So the idea is the thief will have an inventory representing the storage in their backpack. The inventory contains 12 slots for each unique item and each slot will have capacity of 1000 units. And because every item will occupy some units of slot, so limited items can be stored in each slot. Let's say if a bundle of $100 cash occupies 100 units, then only 10 bundle of cash can be carried in a slot worth of value $1000. If the player tries to carry more cash, then he won't be able to, as the slot is full and every slot can carry a unique item only. Also, each item will have their own weight, so carrying these items will slow down the thief's speed. But wait, first we need items so that we can steal them, right? So I made these demo items that thief can steal, like cash, laptop, mobile, TV and console. Yeah, that's a console. And these are just the demo items for now, so don't worry, we'll replace it with the actual model later. Okay, so after that, I created a basic inventory UI and I had no idea what I was doing at that time. So I created this 9 slot inventory just to figure out how am I going to do it. So here, as you can see, you need to go near the item to steal it. And here I'm using keyboard controls right now to pick these items because I haven't set up any button controls yet. And as a mobile game, it's important, so we are going to set up the button controls soon. But here you can see when we pick them up, they directly goes into the inventory. And for now we are just using the names of these items as the game is at prototype stage right now. Later we are going to improve everything, so don't worry about it. So the number you see below the item's name is the cost of the item. And I know there are a lot of things missing from the inventory, so I tried improving it some more and recreated its design. this time our inventory have 12 slots, a quantity number that represents same number of items you are carrying, and the total value which shows the sum of all the items cost. And I think this should be a good base for inventory in this game. Now look, there are many things we need to make for inventory system, but we'll come back to it later. First, let's set up some basic controls. Okay, so I don't want any complicated controls. So I set up a simple jump button, sprint button, and a joystick for both thief and police. Now there are some specific buttons for thief and police. So for thief, I set up an inventory button which will open inventory and a pickup button which will pick up the items. Simple. And these buttons can't be seen by police, and of course why would a police steal the item? So I made these buttons functioning, and of course these are not the final design of the buttons. So after setting up these basic controls, I thought there should be something to measure the weight of these items our player is carrying. But before that, we have to assign weights to each of these items. Now things were getting complicated, so I prepared a list of items which contains all the details about them, like items name, value, weight, their inventory capacity, and how much speed they'll reduce. And this list helped me to organize every detail about each item I'm going to put in my game. So yeah, I assigned them their weight, value, capacity, and then I made a bar that will represent the weight of the items our player is carrying. So more weight the player carries, more speed will be reduced. So after hours of coding to make a mechanic that will reduce the character speed according to the weight of items, I finally made this work. Here you can see the weight bar is working great. However, reducing the character speed is not noticeable as I'm carrying only few items. So the main point of this weight mechanics is that if you made the wrong choice while stealing the items, it could reduce your speed drastically. So you have to steal less weighted but more valuable item as much as possible. And basically this is the main objective of the thieves in this game. Okay, so now it's time to move to another mechanics of this game, which is item dropping system. Now to drop an item from inventory, first you have to drag it. But the way I set up my inventory, it made my button undraggable. So I redesigned my inventory for the third time, and finally these buttons are draggable now. Now to actually drag these items out of the inventory, I wrote some code, and trust me, it was not easy for a multiplayer game, especially for a guy making a multiplayer game for the first time. But eventually I made this work. So when you drag the item out of your inventory, it will drop it in front of the player. But still there is an issue with dropping these items. If you drop an item in front of a wall or something, it will just go inside it. So to fix this issue, I used line traces. Suppose this is a player. When you drop an item from your inventory, a line trace will go in the forward direction. If it hits any object, that means it's not a suitable place to drop our item. So the line trace will go to the right direction instead. If it hits again, it will go to the left direction instead. And if it still hits any object, then it will drop the item behind the character. So this technique was working great. And then I randomized these line traces to a certain range so that if multiple items are dropped while standing at the same location, they won't collide with each other in most of the cases. So we are almost done with the dropping system, but now we are making another mechanics, that is grabbing system. So a grabbing system is a very important mechanics for thieves in this game, as it allows players to show other players what items they are carrying, and also allow them to use the ability of throwing the items that help them to distract the police. So for grabbing, first I modified the base animation to make the character look like it's grabbing something. Now there are many problems with this grabbing system, like the hand don't grab these items from the edges. Some items are too big to be grabbed, like TV. Some items are too small to be grabbed by two hands, like cash. And also sprinting and jumping looks weird when grabbing the item. So the first thing I did is I divided these items into three categories. The first category, they can be grabbed with one hand, like cash, mobile, etc. The second category, they can be grabbed with two hands, like console, laptop, etc. And the third category, they can't be grabbed, like TV. I know in real life you can actually grab a TV, but come on, this is a game. Like how would I adjust these hands to grab that goddamn TV? And also when you grab these items, you can throw these items to create noise. But these big items are too difficult to throw. So yeah, this was the solution I came up with. Alright, so after that, I made two separate animations for one hand grab and two hand grab. Now the main difference between them is with two hand grab, you can't sprint, neither jump. It makes sense, because how are you supposed to run or jump with such a heavy object, right? Also, some little speed will be reduced while grabbing these objects. Now with one hand grab, you can sprint, jump and do all those things you can do normally. Also, a very little speed will be reduced while grabbing them. And it's not noticeable, to be honest, but it gives some depth to the game. So remember, whenever the police is chasing you, don't grab anything in your hand while running. Now, to grab anything from your inventory, you can just double click on the button. It will show this yellow bar at the top of the item you are currently grabbing. So, I haven't implemented any throwing mechanics yet, but I'll add it soon, so don't worry. But now, let's go back to the dropping system. Because here is one last problem, that what if a player wants to drop some specific quantity of item for maybe like his teammate. Currently, if you drop an item, then all the quantities of the item you are carrying will be dropped. So for that, I made a quantity slider, so that when you double click the item, you will see this quantity slider if you have more than one same item. And then you can slide this and select the quantity you want to drop and just drag it out of your inventory, and boom, it just only dropped that quantity of item. So it took me around 20 days to make all these stuff working. And one day I was just working on this game and all of a sudden the electricity cuts off from my room. And it wasn't surprising for me, as I don't have a UPS, neither an inverter connected to my PC. So not a big deal. But when I opened my project sometimes later, my files got corrupted. 20 days of hard work just vanished all of a sudden. And the worst part is, I haven't even took a backup. My thief character just got disappeared from the project with all the logics I created. And also some other files were also gone. So I was heartbroken, even though I don't have any girlfriend. Anyways, I had an old backup of the project which was like a month old. So rather than acting like a loser, I started recreating everything I lost from the scratch. And I also left a message on Discord. Is there a way to recover the corrupted UE project files? Question mark. And after writing this message with no hope, I worked the whole day to recover my game progress. And when the next day I checked the Discord, a guy called Dakesh replied, "Go back in time and use source control." Now how would I explain this guy? I can't afford a time machine. Or check your save folder. Oh my god, I finally got my corrupted file that was saved here. This guy just saved my life. Thanks bro. So immediately I recovered all my corrupted files, and yeah, all things were working fine again. Also, many of you guys were asking me, why don't I use motion matching? Or why don't I use Unreal Engine 5? Look, I have no problem making games with UE5. I can even suffer the pain of low FPS as I did my whole life. But the main problem that took me off from using UE5 was this. UE5 crashes a lot in my PC. That is worse than getting low FPS. And the animations are working fine for multiplayer in UE4, so I don't think I should switch to UE5 just for motion matching. And if you guys want to support me to complete this game, then you can donate me on PayPal. I will be happy to give you guys credits at the end of these Devlog videos, and also inside this game when it will be released. So the PayPal link is in the description. Also, you can join my Discord server for suggestions. All the links are in the description below. And I hope you liked this devlog video. If you do, then please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll see you in the next devlog. Till then, bye bye.